Welcome back to your only online video weekly fantasy football podcast. It's a half kitchen. It was definitely an eventful week, to say the least, especially with all this COVID nonsense. It's definitely good just to watch football, can't lie. First thing, before I get into all this nonsense on the board, the draft went pretty well. We were 12 for 12 in terms of all the managers being online and drafting their own teams with no nonsense. Brandon, the Taiwan's football team, was drafting the next day, so he's technically a cheater, I guess. No, but pretty cool, drafting all the way in Taiwan. We had Brad, who was fighting the fires, which I thought was pretty awesome, and still somehow made it. That was awesome. And a little bit of difficulties after the draft in terms of like rules and the scoring settings, and maybe they're a little skewed in unorthodox, if you will, skewed in the favor of the running backs. I'm always willing to discuss rule changes in the off season, just not during. Not that I don't feel for certain managers who don't have the running backs, but there's not much I can do, and I just have to state that I'm definitely dead set on waivers and waiver claims and not being able to make moves when a guy is yellow, if you will. So anyway, moving forward, before we get on to this, Brandon and Shan, congratulations on your new baby, Olivia. Bam! With that being said, we had the Brother Bowl, the Super Freaks versus Taiwan's football team. The Super Freaks was going up against the entire country, and they ended up winning 167 to 136. Player of the game was on the bench, Aaron Rodgers, with 50. Not good, not really too much, because he had Matt Ryan with his amazing garbage point touchdowns with 37. Brandon got let down pretty hard with Keenan Allen. James Conner got hurt on Monday, and that was pretty much the nail in the coffin. Other than that, there's nothing too eventful here. Super Freaks had two great running backs score 26, and other than that, it was pretty lame. Patrick Mahomes had an off day, if you will, but still had 30. So, moving on, we have Carry On My Wayward Son versus Kiko freaking Torres. And unfortunately for the guy who was in the championship, the rise of Carry On My Wayward Son and the fall of Kiko freaking Torres, 159 to 147. Kiko freaking Torres picked the MVP and got all of those 38 points, to say the least. Big day from him, but just wasn't enough from Gurley, who only had 18, Singletary, 13, Higbee, as I call him out. I'll always remember I mispronounce everything. 7, let down hard with Kerryon Johnson. I considered him in a different league. Luckily I didn't play him, but I feel for you there, Keek. Carry On My Wayward Son, doing what he always does. Had a solid performance. Looks like pretty much everybody in double digits except for Cam Akers, but you can't blame him for starting him there. Didn't start Marvin Jones. That's shocking. And you got to remember, Carry On My Wayward Son, you don't have Kerryon Johnson. So, just saying. Anyway, moving on. We have Think Again, Captain Hindsight versus Winning Team. And in hindsight, Winning Team might want to change his name because Captain Hindsight won 193 to 179. Now, as I've stated before, Winning Team has been in this league before and previously went 1-13. So, I'm not keeping score here, but no. All jokes aside, Winning Team put up a hell of an effort and would have beat most of the other managers. He played the guy scoring the second highest. Not too much you can do when that happens. Winning Team had Dak Prescott kind of let down hard, only 23. You know he's going to do better. Ridley exploded. We had Player of the Game with Zeke. That's on the losing team with 36. So that pretty much explains to you how the day went. Winning Team, he drafted Miles Sanders in the second round, and he didn't even play week 1. Everybody was pretty shocked. that's going to be tough anytime that happens. And for what it's worth, old Captain Hindsight over there, he's got John Brown, solid start. He's going 2 tight ends, got let down hard by Ingram, but had Mark Andrews with his 2 touchdowns. Started Leonard Fournette, but has old big Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry had 27 points. What are you going to do? And DeAndre Hopkins with 35. I don't want to talk about it with this jersey on. Anyway, moving on, we have Brad is who we thought he was. yes, he was. Because he defeated Patrick without his homie, 206, 260. Just scroll over here. Give me a second here. Biggity boom. We had player of the game with Josh Jacobs, 45 points. That was definitely talk of the draft, let me tell you. Jacobs showed up big with his 3 touchdowns. The gift of Brad does it again. What can you say? He has Allen with 41, Adams with 49. David Johnson even had a pretty darn solid day. He even lost his tight end with 2, but still managed to score 200 points. Patrick's my homie, continues to have no luck in this league at the moment. Of course, Patrick is my homie, and of course, you are my homie, as I always state. Russell Wilson, that was a big second-round pick there. Ended up getting 45, but wasn't enough with Odell Beckham's 5. I hear he had a better Thursday. Let me tell you what, hopefully you had him in, I'm pretty sure you did. Le'Veon Bell went down, had 8 before that, so it was pretty much a letdown. I'd say a big one in Hawkinson, the tight end. That's pretty solid. I mean, team looks good overall there. Patrick's my homie. You just keep at it, all right? I promise it's going to work out. Anyway, moving on. We have blowout of the week. This one's near and dear to the old heart, to say the least. She-Unit destroyed, annihilated, crushed. Anyone but Matt. 179 to 127. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. Lost it. Oh, man. Adam Thielen, player of the game with 34. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Let me tell you. Let me find this game. Whew, anyone but Matt. Let's start there. This guy didn't pick too many running backs in the draft. Had Marlon Mack. He was the starter opening day and goes down. That is going to hurt, especially with the running backs thin, to say the least. Got let down with James White's 9, but overall, really, the running backs weren't the story of the day. Michael Thomas got hurt and only scored 4. That's going to hurt no matter who you is. He had to start A.J. Brown because Mike Evans ended up going doubtful Saturday. No bueno, to say the least. Anyone but Matt couldn't catch a break all week long, and hopefully he keeps at it, because the night is always darkest just before the dawn there, Lonnie. You're going to be fine, all right? You're going to be fine. I believe in you, all right? She-Unit with Kyler Murray's 34. As I stated, Thielen's score. Robert Woods really put the nail in the coffin there on Sunday Night Football with 21. Aaron Jones is 23. Yeah, I think people should have been higher on him. Really nothing else there. You guys pretty much all made the right moves, except at quarterback, I guess, on anyone but Matt. But other than that, it wouldn't have made a difference. So, moving on to Game of the Week. We have, this one right here, folks. This one was a barn burner, to say the least. We had husband versus wife. We had champion versus newbie. It was insane. Let me tell you, Dirty Mike and the boys, love saying that name, squeaked by. Love those tight ends. Said it right this time. 167 to 161. Oh, man. This one was a big one. Let me tell you. Let me find it here. Not doing too good with the whole computer today, huh? All right, we got Tom Brady with Dirty Mike and the boys with 22. Solid day. Really a Brady-less day. As we said, squeaked by. Schuster had 25. That was big on Monday. Really the nail in the coffin. DK Metcalf, great day. He took a big chance on draft day with old Clyde, and got him 30 on opening day. What can you say? Drake had 20. Solid overall day. Can't blame I love those tight ends because, dang it, she had George Kittle and the guy got hurt. You got to feel for her. Christian McCaffrey was all about that first-round pick. Somebody told her to start Terry McLaurin. Can't pronounce his name. McLaurin. And it didn't work out. I wouldn't listen to that guy again. He doesn't sound smart. Anyway, some points were left on the board. Brown of the Rams had 33. I don't think anybody really saw that coming. Dobbins had 17, despite the 2 touchdowns. Got let down hard by Boyd, but I heard he had a good Thursday, so hopefully you had him in. And other than that, I think that concludes your Week 1 fantasy football. That's it. I'm out. Shall we answer that?